What's going on, everybody? Alex here, Nickens Lawn and Landscape. So it's day 3 of our irrigation project, and it's slightly raining today. You can see it's kind of overcast. It's not really nice out here. The ground's wet, or the pavers are wet. There's supposed to be a lot more rain coming, so I'm not exactly sure how much I'll get to film today. I'll keep this thing on as much as I possibly can, but obviously when it's raining you can't get out the expensive cameras, so we'll just see what we can get. Hope you've enjoyed the past 2 videos. We spent quite a bit of time trying to film and edit them and make them good and try to help everybody learn, so hope you're enjoying those. But like I said, we'll just see what we can get today. It is what it is, and we can't control Mother Nature, so we are going to bring the camera with us and we'll film what we can film. Let's go.
Oh, it is a studio. You got your digital. Look at that. 4 or 5, I think, yeah. Not bad. Alright, get the going. We'll have to dig our 20 pipe off that anyway.
We're using a sawhorse as our reel holder. Working pretty good. Now we got to cross this paver walkway, so we're going to have to pull out some bricks, but we're going to get the machine over here. We're going to get the machine as close as we can, and then we're going to lay down, and we're going to see exactly where that knife comes through, and we're going to try to only remove a foot or so of these pavers. We'll see what happens, but Jake actually installed this paver walkway 15 years ago, so it's alright that he tears it up, I guess. So this is what we came up with. Rather than trying to hand dig around the gazebo, I try to bore under this walkway, so we're just going to knife right through it. Should be fine. That one got a nail in it. Spike. Yep. 1 for 2. Alright, so we keep on chugging. Looks good to me, and I'll watch it. You'll be right there too. You good?
Yeah, stay where you can see both of us.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I was making sure you're all good. I'm the communicator. You got Slick Nick over here. And you got Big Jake over here. And then you got little Alex in the middle doing a whole lot of nothing. Oh well. Starting to feel some raindrops. This might be the end of day 3's video. Let's see what happens, but it was black. It's kind of more bluish gray now, but it was really dark there for a minute.
I would like to put these on if you get the option. I would put these on here because that's just kind of a dead zone. So anytime you come in here, that's going to be right there.
So you can see that at all times.
So you'll know that zone 1 we're going to put north side, you know, street or sidewalk, along fence north side, lake. You know, you indicate kind of where they're at. Write little notes where they're at.
Just like you would on your electric panel.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. So instead of putting them in here, because that kind of they never stick in these hydro rains. So I put them on the whenever I do the pump start relays, I always put them back on there.
Can't really see. Oh, there you go. I can see it better. These cameras are so finicky with the lighting. There you go. So that'll be right above the box.
This is actually going to be on just the cover for it. So
cool.
That'll be right there.
You made up this little board too that wasn't there. It was just gap between the stuff.
I went with a thick board because it looks cold. You know, there's nothing back behind there.
Right.
But then if we ever have to get back there, we can just pop it off real quick. Like when we come in here to run that receptacle, and we'll have to pop that off to get to work, but it'll still be the wires hidden behind there.
Alright guys, so we've had rain on and off pretty much all day. I left for a few hours, but we're back at it and we're getting ready to bore under the sidewalk. So let's check this out. We're gonna go right on the sidewalk, right by the water meter. And come out right here. At least that's the plan. Alright guys, so it's the end of day 3 and I finally feel like I have somewhat of an idea of what's going on. I feel like at this point I kind of know what's coming up next. For the first couple days, excuse these cicadas, locusts, whatever you want to call them, they're loud, it's hot. But the first couple of days I didn't really feel like I knew what was going on. I didn't really feel like I was up to par on what we had to do next, so I was just kind of standing there waiting to be told what to do pretty much. But I feel like today, or at the end of today, right now, I know what's coming up next. I know what we got to do. Jake actually took off, so I'm here by myself. Nick went home earlier whenever it was raining. There wasn't really much for 3 people to do. So I'm here by myself, but I'm gonna show you guys kind of what we got done today and kind of try to explain a little bit of what's going on and how these systems are set up. So moral of the story, you have your boxes, right? You've got one here. I'll use this one as an example. Under this piece of wood, there's a box. So that PVC is main power, which is coming, like I said, from the lake on this project. Wherever it's coming from, it doesn't really matter. That is the main water, and then with it, you see we buried that black cable. So that was buried with the pipe. So coming to this hole is power and water. Now you've got to have that at every hole, so you have to have power and water at all these main holes. And then basically what you got going out of here is you're going to have a bunch of solenoids, which is the power is hooked up to. Each solenoid is going to control a section. For this system in particular, we're going to have about 8 heads per solenoid, so, or roughly 8 heads per solenoid, no more than 8. So say we're going to have 3 solenoids in here. So off of this PVC, there's going to be 1, 2, 3 solenoids kind of branching off. They're going to tee off and come into that solenoid, okay? And then off of that solenoid is going to be a pipe with its heads. So when you're on that controller, or so whenever the controller is doing its job, each time it's watering, it's going to be feeding one of those solenoids. So there's 3 in here. There's going to be 3 in here. So just for this box, you're going to have roughly 24 heads, or no more than 24 heads. So each time the water kicks on, it's going to go 8 heads at a time pretty much. So it's going to feed solenoid, let's call it 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to water, it's going to feed solenoid number 1. When solenoid number 1 has been fully watered, the control box is going to say solenoid 1 shut off, solenoid 2 kick on. So 1's going to shut off, 2 kicks on. Now a different area of the yard gets watered, all 8 of those heads. And then whenever 2's done, it's going to say, okay, 2 shut off, 3 kick on. 3's going to kick on. Now it's going to water those 8 heads. And that's how the entire property is done pretty much. So we've got 4 of these, or 5 of these boxes all together. So pretty much we're going to make it to where it's going to be kind of 1 box running at a time, but it's going to be 1 solenoid at a time. So we're going to have 10 solenoids all together for this property. So that means there's 10 zones. So it's going to have to go through 10 different sections to water the entire property. Now I hope that makes sense, but that's pretty much what I've got out of it. So you've got your main PVC coming in here with your wire, and then you're going to have all your solenoids in here, and your wire is going to tell it when to fire. So you're going to have poly pipe, which is this black pipe over here. But basically each time it tells one of those solenoids to kick on, it's going to be sending water up this poly pipe to the heads. So off of the solenoid is poly pipe, and then all your heads, you don't have any more wiring. But there's your poly pipe, that black pipe. Let me show you over here. Yeah, we bored under the sidewalk. I think Jake did pretty good on that one. Hit the nail on the head, and that is literally almost dead center. So we're pretty happy about that. Kudos to Jake for making my job easier, and I didn't really have to dig. So let's hope the same thing happens in the morning whenever we have to do another one. Actually, we have to do 2 more. We have to do 1 down here where I started digging a little bit, and then we've got to do 1 right here, which I dug my trench. See, we got 2 trenches side by side over here. We've got the first pipe in, you can see a little bit, and we've got to do this one tomorrow. So we'll be boring, and we'll have another one pop out about right here where this pile of dirt is. And to be perfectly honest, that's why I didn't dig that trench, because I didn't want to move that dirt. So try to find something to do with that tomorrow. And then we've got another board that's going to go on right here. I got about halfway under that one. I'm going to bring a pipe tomorrow on a sledgehammer and try to get that one under that way. But that's pretty much what we got. So like I said, off of those solenoids, you've got no more than 8 heads, and it's going to water those, and then it's going to move over to the next solenoid. So that's kind of what the wires are all about. They're going to go to those solenoids, tell them when to kick on, when to shut off. So it's really not too crazy, but it does take some know-how, and I will be perfectly honest, I know way more today or right now than I did 3 days ago. So it's been a fun experience. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Don't let me fool you. You got a communication line right there, you got a power line right there, and you got a gas line right there. And we got to cross all of these 1, 2, 3 times on this side. So we've got to cross communication, gas, and power 3 times each, and that's just on this side. And then when we get over there, we're gonna have to cross some more. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from here. I'm not walking all the way over there. Yeah, you can see all those flags over there. And I showed that in one of the previous videos. But this front yard is just littered with flags. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, but it's a cool experience, and I'm glad that I'm getting it. We're learning a lot, and we've done pretty good so far. I think we haven't cut any corners. We're literally doing it to spec. We had the supplier from NPR come out today. That's where we got all this material. That's where Jake orders his material, and he came out today, and he said for guys like us that have never done a full install, we're doing a damn good job. And he said he doesn't really see anything. I think he relocated one head that we had planned out, but other than that, he hasn't changed any of our stuff. So we're doing it right. We're doing it to manufacturer specs, and it's just time consuming, guys. Like I said, it's not overly hard. I wouldn't recommend doing it by yourself for the first time. You're gonna be lost. You're gonna be a deer on ice, to be perfectly honest with you. But if you can get with somebody like Jake that's willing to coach you, that's willing to mentor you and walk you through it, then you should be all right. And I've mentioned this a lot of times, guys. If you want to learn how to do something, go learn how to do it. Don't make excuses. I want to learn how to do irrigation, so what do? I find an irrigation guy that's willing to help me. And to be honest, I think this is going to be a really cool relationship between us. We both own our own companies. We're both entrepreneurs. We're both business owners. We don't want partners, but it's not going to be like that. It's going to be hey, can you help me with this? Or hey, I have this customer that wants this, and I know you're not going to try to take my customer, so can you go help them out kind of relationship. So I've built quite a few of those through the years, but this guy lives in my new hometown, so should be pretty cool. Should work out really good for me. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of information. He's willing to help, and he knows a lot of people. So pretty much just like me. So I think it'll be cool. We got a lot in common. All right, that's enough rambling. I am sweating my butt off, but I did want to try to spout that out the best I could. Try to let you guys understand it. Like I said, I did not know anything that I just said a couple of days ago, but it's really not rocket science. It just takes time to do it. And what's really hard is trying to navigate around all this stuff. Try to make sure you don't cross lines. Try to make sure you start in the right spot. Irrigation takes a lot of planning. I'm gonna say that for sure, especially on a project like this where you have a fence, you've got every line known to man, you've got a little bit of everything. So there's no way you can really cut corners. You got to kind of do it slow. You got to do it steady and just make sure that you're doing everything right, because on a property like this, a screw up could cost you a lot of money, and it can end up costing you your customers. So make sure you do it right. And if you're not 100% familiar with what you're doing, try to find a mentor. Try to find somebody that can walk you through it. A lot of your suppliers will do this. Like I said, our supplier came out, or Jake's supplier came out today, and he walked us through this, and he kind of made sure everything we were doing was okay, made sure everything we were doing was right, and then he took us out to lunch. The supplier took us to Jake's restaurant and bought us lunch. So it's pretty cool. Jake got lunch bought for him at his own restaurant, but that just shows you how cool the suppliers are, guys. He literally came out here, we needed a part, and he said, I'll bring it out there tomorrow personally. He brought it out here, he hung out for a couple hours, and then was decent enough to take us to lunch, to go out to lunch with us. So Steve, if you're watching this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. NPR over in St. Louis, if you need any kind of landscape lighting or irrigation supplies, they are the people to go to. Apparently they sell a whole bunch of it. And Jake said anytime he calls him over the phone when he has a question, he's right there ready to answer it. And those are the kind of people you want to deal with, guys. You want to deal with people who are willing to help you and who actually know the product that they're selling you. And this guy knows his product. So thanks again, Steve. We really do appreciate it. But that's it for this one, guys. I am sweaty. I am hungry. I'm ready to go home. We got to get back at it first thing in the morning. And I still got to edit this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook if you're not already. And of course, if you're not subscribed here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. And leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I'll see you in the next one.